Madam Presiding Officer, again, I thank you for the opportunity to address this August House. I also want to thank the electoral district of Bonaccord and Crown Point for their confidence in me to represent them. Today, I stand before you to address an issue that has long been the center of our island's struggle for justice and equity, our right to self-determination. I know sometimes I have to pinch myself because this is 2024 and we are still here with no signs of moving forward under the spiteful and stifling hands of a clearly oppressive central government. The Tobago House of Assembly was established under Act 40 of 1996, a landmark piece of legislation that was meant to usher in a new era of self-management for our beloved Tobago. While it granted certain authorities, it fell short of the autonomy we have demanded and deserve. For decades, Tobagonians have cried out for a system of governance that truly reflects our unique identity and aspirations, and so continues our long and convoluted history of pursuing our outright to self-determination. Thus far, the passage of the bills presented could be described as underwhelming, unsubstantiated, and unfair treatment to the people of Tobago. The current bills before our Parliament, the Island Government Bill, and the Act to amend the Constitution fail to capture the essence of our demands for genuine self-governance. You see, Madam Presiding Officer, it's not merely about legislative changes.
It's right, you didn't indicate.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I be guided by Standing Order 52 to read my speech?
Standing Order 42.6.
Yeah.
42.7, rather. Be so guided. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. The last THA elections show just how exasperated our people are. The referendum was clear then, and it will become The referendum was clear then, and it will become even clearer in the nearer future. Let me turn to a time that when we saw a glimmer of hope. In 2016, a draft autonomy bill was put forward, a significant document proposing extensive legislative and executive powers for Tobago. It included the establishment of a Tobago Legislature, formally recognizing our boundaries and our right to self-determination. Sadly, however, the bills currently before the Parliament have omitted these pivotal proposals. What it says, Madam Presiding Officer, is that the extensive work put in by Mr. London, Mr. Ho-Choi Charles, and their team, the National Advisory Committee, has been disregarded and shelved. This has to be a slap in the face to every single Tobagonian. However, under this administration, we will not turn the other cheek. As we anticipate the debate of the Constitution Amendment, Tobago Self-Government Bill, and the Tobago Island Government Bill, these bills must reflect the aspirations of our people as outlined in the 2016 draft bill. We must ensure these bills genuinely advance Tobago's autonomy and adhere to the core principles we have long fought for. The current bills, despite their proposed changes, fall short. Imagine these bills are meant to repeal and replace the current THA Act, yet they fail to address critical issues such as equal representation, jurisdiction over our maritime boundaries, and expanded financial autonomy. How could you fail to define our territorial boundaries accurately? Then effectively, Tobago has no claim to its rights other than the land on which we stand and its internal waters. 11 nautical miles is what they are proposing to us. How do we define our economic geographic space and jurisdiction, Madam Presiding Officer? This is absolutely necessary in order to define our worth as an island. These are not negotiable aspects. of meaningful self-governance. Speaking to the aspect of executive authority, this new island government bill states that in accordance, Section 75A 1B of the Constitution, exclusive administration is conferred to the Tobago Executive Council in relation to the list of matters in Schedule 1, and shall extend to such part of the territorial sea measuring 11 nautical miles from the lowest water mark. This is a typical example of playing smart with foolishness. These boundaries limit the island's potential for development and growth. It is not what the people agreed to in the wider consultations. This bill also states that no provision is allowed for the Executive Council to interpret authority and enter into any agreement with any foreign state. Yes, they are asking that our proposed island government ask permission from the central government to interact with foreign government corporations or investors on behalf of the people of Tobago. Madam Presiding Officer, does this look like the equity they promise in this new dispensation of life? This bill empowers the central government to prescribe rules of conduct for the Tobago Island government, essentially stating, and I quote, that these will be specified from time to time by Parliament. This ambiguity places our autonomy at the mercy of central government directives and undermines our hard-earned rights. We cannot allow a fox to guard the hen house. Our autonomy must be honest, substantial, and reflective of the people's will. Moreover, the latest committee's composition, which empowers the central government to dictate terms, is unacceptable. Madam Presiding Officer, in a Newsday article dated June 2018, many of our luminaries gave their opinion on the amendments made to the draft bill. Former Chief Secretary Hochoy Charles, the people of Tobago must reject the entire bill. Considering our conversation, it lacks structure. Dr. Winford James, political analyst, the bills are a reversal of many good autonomy ideas from 2016 and earlier. I stand resolutely against them. Dr. Vanus James, economist, these bills fail to deliver Tobago the promised equality of status or self-determination and should be rejected on that basis alone. They also include provisions that will effectively make Tobago a colony of Trinidad and severely damage the country's economic diversification and development prospects. Stanley Beard, the bills presented will not advance the cause and needs of Tobagonians. Tobagonians must be responsible for charting a course and the pace of development on the island. Shirley Cook, Vice President, Crown Point Business Association, the provision in the bills do not reflect the right to self-determination and equality of status as listed in the amended Constitution. Deborah Moore Miggins, former Assemblyman, the bills are contradictory within themselves and are inconsistent in several respects with what Tobago people have expressly said what they want and should be withdrawn. They take us back to before 1996 and are totally unacceptable. Madam Presiding Officer, here we have it. The general consensus on these bills is that they do not have the best interests of our people and its people at heart. I call on the minority and their friends in Parliament, especially those whose birth certificate says they were born in Tobago, to do the right thing and join the rest of the island in rejecting this farce. We don't want it. It makes no sense, and we are not accepting any legislation that places us before 1996. Let it be resolved that this House reaffirms the principle outlined in the 2016 draft bill. We demand equality of status between Trinidad and Tobago, comprehensive legislative powers for Tobago, and a clear recognition of our boundaries and jurisdiction. We support the passage of autonomy bills contingent on these provisions being met, ensuring Tobago's legislature has the authority to govern all local matters with expanded legislative and financial powers. Moreover, we urge a transparent and collaborative process involving bipartisan discussions with the central government, the THA, and stakeholders in Tobago. This is not just about passing bills. It's about finalizing a version that meets the autonomy objectives we have established through years of consultations. Our journey towards self-governance is not a quest for separation, but a demand for recognition and respect. It is about ensuring our voices are heard, our needs addressed, and our rights upheld within the framework of our nation. As we debate these bills, let us remember our history. Tobago has long been a prized possession, fought over by European powers and coveted for its strategic importance. Today, we fight not for conquest, but for the right to determine our own destiny. I speak for my colleagues and me as we stand with the rest of Tobago, fists clenched and upright, reaffirming our battle cry, no retreat, no surrender. Yes. Let us move forward with unity, determination, and an unwavering commitment to the principles of self-governance and autonomy for Tobago. Madam Presiding Officer, I thank you.